Welcome to True Crime with Strategic Eyes.
Strategic back again. Now, I had no idea that we would be going live for a third time today. That's 3 lives in one day. But guess what? We got to chase the story. And today we have breaking news for you guys. I had no idea that this type of information would be coming out. No idea, but big shout out to the research crew, always on their job, always assisting the show to live up to your standards. Ladies and gentlemen, we have heard of the most disturbing information that explains a lot. It explains a lot as to why the medical examiner has not released findings yet in the case of Celeste Rivas Hernandez.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen. I when I was getting ready to do this live, the only thing I could think of was the show Dexter.
Does that make sense?
Yup, to me, it looks like this D4VD guy, if he is in fact the one who took Celeste's life, he's a Dexter.
Does that make sense?
This dude allegedly froze her body, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, that's going to destroy almost all forensic information.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it's the very freezing of those cells. The way that it changes and put crystals inside of your cells when it's frozen makes it very difficult for the medical examiner to get certain tests back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to jump right into this, man. It's not going to be a long live, but it's certainly going to be a very informative live. This one's broken by TMZ. Once again, big shout out to TMZ. Listen, love them or hate them. There's a lot of things about TMZ some people don't like, but this is their case. They've been on this case since day one. They broke this case. They drew the dots and found out that Celeste was the girl who was actually found in the trunk and contacted the mother. Because remember, the mother didn't even know that her daughter was gone until TMZ told them, ladies and gentlemen. We got to give credit where credit is due. TMZ owns this case, ladies and gentlemen. Big shout out to Generic White Female with 1 gift membership. Appreciate your continued support. Yes, that is her name. I didn't just say it. That's her name. We appreciate her, and she's been a long-time supporter of the show. And yes, thank you for that gift membership. Ladies, let's jump right into this. Wow. Body found in frozen state. Cause of death may never be determined. Celeste Rivas' body has been frozen as a result. It looks like the LA County Medical Examiner will not be able to establish a cause of death. Sources directly connected to the investigation tells TMZ. According to those sources, the medical examiner received the body in horrendous condition. I got to take a sip before I go any further. This is only going to get worse, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm focused, so please hit that like button because I'm not going to be reminding you every minute. Please, 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 for the sake of the future of this channel, you have to hit the like button so we can get into the algorithm. It's the only way through your likes. Let's keep going. According to sources, the medical examiner received the body in horrendous condition. It was decapitated. And while the torso was intact, the limbs had been removed and cut into multiple pieces.
Oh my God!
This, ladies and gentlemen, is diabolical. It took great evil, in my opinion, for somebody to do what they did to Celeste Rivas Hernandez.
Oh my God!
Let's keep going. We're told all of the body parts were partially frozen and had apparently been thawing out while sitting in the trunk of David's Tesla. This doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't make any sense to me because the private investigators who are on this case, allegedly video evidence, allegedly, I haven't seen it. Only these PIs and the LAPD have seen it. They said that car wasn't moved. How is it that car was not moved and nobody was observed putting anything in the front or taking anything from the front, and the body is still defrosting? That doesn't make any sense. That make any sense to you guys?
Does that make sense?
Something is missing here.
Does that make sense?
Somebody is mistaken.
Does that make sense?
because it's not possible that a body was in a trunk for months and it's still defrosting.
Does that make sense?
That's not how that works.
Does that make sense?
It doesn't matter if it's a piece of chicken or a body. It's only going to take a couple of hours for it to defrost.
Does that make sense?
So I don't know what's going on here, but this is what TMZ is reporting, ladies and gentlemen. This is what TMZ is reporting. So now we got to ask ourselves, are the reports that we have seen on all these other channels that have spoken to PIs and all that stuff, is that accurate or is TMZ accurate? I don't know.
Does that make sense?
Well, let's keep going. Remember, David's vehicle had not been moved for several days when it was parked on a Hollywood Hills street near his rental home, which resulted in it getting towed and then the body being found. As TMZ reported, Celeste's body was in such bad shape initially, investigators did not know if it was a male or a female. When the body was received by the ME's office, the initial determination was this was a victim of an apparent homicide, but our sources say the ME is now having trouble establishing an official manner of cause of death, and it will most likely be undetermined. Other sources connected to the investigation tell TMZ the LAPD Robbery Homicide Division is viewing Celeste's death as a homicide. You should be separating them because LAPD is a big enough municipality that their robbery homicide, it should just either be a robbery squad or a homicide squad because it's too much work, because robberies happen every single day. Homicides happen every single day. You should not have these detectives working both of those type of cases. It's my opinion, but what do I know? Maybe I'll run for LA County, what they got, a superintendent, a commissioner, a sheriff, I don't know. Maybe I'll run one day, move over to the West Coast and give them a leader. A real leader. Anyway, let's keep going. The LAPD's robbery homicide is viewing Celeste's death as a homicide, and even if the official cause of death is undetermined, authorities can move forward with an arrest. TMZ broke the story. David is now considered a suspect in Celeste's death. What's more, I guess they want to say once more, but it says what's more. TMZ has, they're right. What's more, TMZ has learned that there's a second suspect who authorities believe helped David in the dismemberment of Celeste's body. Mark Garagos appeared on the most recent Two Angry Men podcast and said he knows the name of the second suspect, and authorities have told him this person might have been involved before, during, and after Celeste's death. TMZ also broke the story. A critical part of the case involves a trip investigators say David made to a remote area of Santa Barbara County in the middle of the night back in the spring, where he spent 2 hours. If Celeste's body was taken to that area months before it was discovered in LA, it seems the operating theory is the body parts were put in some sort of freezer for a long time before it ended up in David's Tesla in late summer. This story is just getting diabolical, ladies and gentlemen. Diabolical. Let's keep going. Let's listen to what TMZ has to say about this.
In the Celeste Rivas death, TMZ has learned that her body had been frozen, and when it was found, it was still partially frozen in the back of David's car, and it was in such bad condition that we are told the medical examiner may never be able to establish the cause of death. So here's what we know. When the body was found, it was in terrible condition. It had been decapitated, the torso was intact, the limbs had been removed, and they were cut up severely. The body was partially frozen in the trunk, and this is really important because remember, the body had been sitting there for days before it was finally impounded and then the body discovered. And it was still, the body parts were still partially frozen. So we are told that when the body first went to the medical examiner's office in early September, it was listed as an apparent homicide, but that was just from what seemed obvious, that the body was cut up into pieces. The medical examiner is having a really tough time right now trying to figure out what the cause of death was. We are told it is likely the cause of death will go undetermined because of the condition of the body and the fact that it was frozen and the fact that it was cut up the way it was. So we have told you that we know David is a suspect, and even if it is undetermined, the LAPD can still move forward, as could the LA County District Attorney.
Absolutely.
The
Yeah,
LAPD
absolutely. They can move forward without having a cause of death because obviously somebody went through great lengths to defile this body, to defile Celeste in the afterlife. Not the afterlife, but post-mortem, rather, I should say. Let's not get too spiritual, because I am a spiritual person. But she's not defiled in the afterlife. She's with God right now. She's in the bosom of our Lord. You don't believe? That's okay. No disrespect. We love you anyway. But they defiled her post-mortem. They chopped her up. And that, nobody goes through those great lengths just for them to get a misdemeanor desecration of a body charge. They took this girl's life. Somebody has to pay. Let's keep going.
PD is viewing this as a homicide. David is a suspect. We know this. And one of the keys to the case is a trip that authorities say David made in the middle of the night back in this spring to a remote area of Santa Barbara County. We are now also told that there is a second suspect, and our information is that the second suspect has something to do with the cutting up of the body.
Oh, boy.
Now, Mark Garagos, who is my co-host on the
Crazy.
Two Angry Men podcast, told us in the most recent podcast that his information is that this second suspect is being looked at not just for dismembering the body, but also for what happened before, during, and after Celeste's death. So there is a second suspect that the LAPD has its sights on. They have identified the person. Garriga says he knows who it is, not saying, but it is a second suspect implicated here. So obviously the question, how on earth did...
Gonna be somebody close to him. It's either one of his friends or a relative. I'm telling you that right now. It's one of his friends or a relative, not local blood or crib. He didn't pay nobody off. I heard people say that in the comment section. Oh, he paid off one of the local thugs to do it. Nah. It's one of his friends or a relative, ladies and gentlemen. This is crazy. Guys, hit that like button. We have almost 300 people watching this stream right now. Only 109 likes. Come on. Come on. All right. If you love this show and you love what we're doing here, you have to do your part. Your part is simply to press the like button, and hopefully, we would really hope and appreciate it if you say something in the chat, even if it's just a thumbs up or a hi or whatever. That's engagement. That shows the algorithm that what we're doing here is appreciated, and it then sends it out to more people. We have to do that in order to survive. That's why we ask you, not just doing it for our ego. So please, 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 you're getting this information. You're hearing my opinion. You're listening to an active duty detective give you their perspective. Pay me back, please, with a like. Let's keep going.
This body go from Santa Barbara, if that's indeed where it was taken? And that seems to be the operating theory of the LAPD, that if it was taken to Santa Barbara, how did it end up back in Los Angeles in the trunk of David's car in a residential neighborhood? The only thing that makes sense, and that's months and months later, the only thing that makes sense is that based on connecting the dots, it would seem that this body was put in a freezer for an extended period of time, and it was so frozen that by the time it got in the car, it took a long time for it to unfreeze, and it had not fully unfrozen at the time.
I gotta get, where are my medical examiner people, man? I got everybody and their mother watching this show. I mean, I want to say it like that. We just have a wide breadth of people. We don't have everybody and their mother watching us. we begging for likes. we begging to get 200 likes right now. Nah. We got a lot of different professionals that watch this show. Big shout out to Generic White Female with another one gift membership. Thank you so much. I need to hear from a pro. How long does it take for a human body that has been frozen solid? We're going to assume that she was frozen solid. We're even going to assume to the point that she was in that freezer for so long that she has freezer burn on the body. So let's give them that. The body has freezer burn. It's frozen solid through and through. How long does it take for a body that is so frozen to defrost? I need to know. You're in a hot car that is experiencing California heat. How long does it take for a body like that to defrost? That is a key to this case right now, because we're hearing from different sources that that body was possibly in that trunk for months. And I just don't think that it would take months for that body to defrost. It basically in an oven. That trunk turns into an oven. How long would it take for that body to defrost? Let's keep going.
The body was discovered at the impound lot. So again, it looks like there may never be a cause of death determined by the medical examiner. The body was frozen. Just keep looking at TMZ. We will have more updates.
All right, so big shout out to TMZ. Now, somebody said, well, turkey takes a week to defrost. But a turkey takes a week to defrost in your sink in a pot filled with water that ends up being room temperature. Probably never really room temperature because it's got a cold turkey in it. But it's less than freezing. We're talking about in a trunk in a California sun. For anybody who's from an international audience, you don't know California. California's on the equator, ladies and gentlemen. It's one of our hottest states. It's a hot, beautiful, they have palm trees in California. Palm trees. How long would that body take to defrost in a trunk that was probably consistently over 100 degrees in that trunk for at least 16 hours a day? And I say 16 hours because I'm accounting for nighttime when the temperature drops. But in California, how low does the temperature drop? 60 degrees, 65, 70 degrees in the nighttime? We got A Obsidian inside of the chat showing us her Canadian waist to about 29 degrees Celsius. Get out of here with that. We're Americans.
Oh, hell no.
We don't do no centigrade. You better come up here with some Fahrenheit or something. She's talking about 29. What is that? 29 degrees centigrade. What is that? Celsius? Anyway, even when we account for the nighttime, we're talking about 65 degrees Fahrenheit, 60 degrees Fahrenheit, California, nighttime. 16 hours of well over 100 degrees in that trunk, ladies and gentlemen. Even if it was 90 degrees outside, it's going to be hotter in the trunk because the trunk is going to keep that heat trapped in there. I don't know, man. This is crazy. Let's keep going.
In the case of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, whose body was found in the front trunk of singer David's impound.
Finally, somebody in the news that actually got her age right. Big shout out to KTLA 5 for not calling her 15 years old, like we've been reading in many article, like they're just copying off of each other. She wasn't 15, she was 14, and barely so. Let's keep going.
Tesla in September.
David was officially identified as a suspect in the teen's death this week, and now a source that's close to the case says detectives have identified a second suspect. Lindsay Pena, live in our news center with the latest on that. Lindsay?
Rick and Kareem, this is the second major development in this case this week. Back on Tuesday, a source was able to confirm to KTLA that singer David is being named as a suspect, as you mentioned. The body of the Lake Elsinore teen was found September 8th in the front trunk of David's Tesla impounded at a Hollywood tow yard. David was on tour at the time, but police now believe Hernandez was killed last spring. The medical examiner reported she had been dead for an extended period of time.
Right, guys, do me a favor, hit that like button, okay? We got 360 people watching this right now, 180 likes. Let's get those likes up.
Just yesterday, the case was updated in the medical examiner's website. The cause of death had been listed as deferred for weeks, but now there is no information listed, which means there could be a security hold on the case. Late today, TMZ reporting that Rivas's body may have been frozen, and that could make it difficult or nearly impossible to determine the cause of death. Wow. Our request to the medical examiner's office for more information hasn't been answered yet. Now there are reports of a second suspect being named. That information coming from attorney Mark Garagos, who is not connected to the case but says he's talked to people close to the investigation, and they've told him this person could be involved before, during, and after her death.
All right, if you're the parents of David right now, like, what are you doing? Like, I would be like, son, what the hell happened, man? I think they ask that question. It's just human nature to ask that question. Like, what are they doing right now? Like, they're watching these shows. They're watching True Crime and Strategic. I'm not talking out of ego. It's just happened so many times that I do these shows and people will email me. Family members will email me. Sometimes they want to check the record straight. Sometimes they want to curse me out. I mean, what do you do right now with David in his room, wherever he's at? We don't even know if he's home. The rumors are that he's hiding out in Texas. And it's like, what are these people saying? Frozen? Dismembered? My son's Tesla? What do you do if you're the parents of David right now?
I think what law enforcement is focusing on now.
I'm sorry to interrupt this guy. I'll bring it back. Remember, his dad is a pastor, right? Like, his dad is a man of God. Like, what do you do? You're a man of God. You tried to raise your son in the church. You're a man of discipline. I'm understanding he's also like a kung fu master, something like a dojo master and a pastor. Like, you are religious, honorable people who tried to raise your son with respect and morals and principles. And what do you do right now? What do you do when you find out maybe they didn't know that his girlfriend was underage and now she's dismembered, chopped up, and frozen, and then thawed? Wow. Mindless behavior, highlighted message to strategic. Now you know his mama is saying, not my son. Probably. Remember in the other live we just did before we did this, accountability. A lot of people, they don't understand the concept of accountability. She's probably like in denial right now. Let's keep going.
I think what law enforcement is focusing on right now is they're trying to determine locations, and they have reverse engineered. They obviously know when they found the car. They obviously know when they discovered the remains. They now are reverse engineering the movements of all those who were involved, and they've done it in a very sophisticated way.
Garagos and Harvey Levin of TMZ both confirming independently that investigators are looking closely at a trip that David took to a remote area of Santa Barbara County in the middle of the night last spring. At this point, one former LAPD detective we've spoken with says David is likely under surveillance, and all of these developments could mean an arrest is coming soon. Attorney Allison Treasel saying investigators are likely taking their time and being extra careful since this case is so high profile.
This is a high-profile case with a lot of eyes on the LAPD, and they don't want to get it wrong. They should not have to be in any type of a rush because there's no statute of limitations on a murder case if this is in fact a murder. And the coroner has yet to release the manner of death or the toxicology reports.
As of now, there have still been no charges and no arrests in this case. In the news center, Lindsay Pena, KTLA 5 News.
All right. First of all, somebody told me that there was a documentary, a mini documentary series that David did with his parents. And I said I was going to do it for the Patreon because the reason why I can't do it for the members is because it's going to get copyright. So I understand that even if it's members only content, YouTube's algorithm still seeks it out, and their copyright, bots, whatever, still seek it out. There's no hiding it. So I didn't want to get copyright striked for reacting to it. So I'm going to do that for the Patreon. I haven't seen it, and some of you may have observed it, but my understanding is that they talk about him having like rage issues or something like that. Did anybody see it? Am I paraphrasing correctly? Because people have told me, I saw it and you got to watch it because they kind of like allude to him having anger issues and rage issues or violent tendencies or something like that. I'm not saying that actually is in that documentary. I've not seen it myself yet, but this is what people have told me. I got to see that. We're going to do that for the Patreon probably tomorrow. So look out for that, all my Patreon members. If you're not a member of the Patreon, you need to see it now. I mean, you need to become a member now, because we're gonna be seeing that together tomorrow. But this is crazy, bro. This is insane, ladies and gentlemen. Like I told you, it's not gonna be a long live. So this is our last exhibit here. This Zav girl, YouTuber, basically claims that they found the freezer that may have been used on Celeste. Now, listen, people buy freezers all the time, all right? I got freezers in my house too. But every theory is a good theory when you're dealing with this case. There's no such thing as a bad theory. And I've never seen Zav Girl before. I can't vouch for them because I've never seen their content, but we definitely appreciate them putting this together. Let's do it.
Okay, check a look at this video with a freezer in the box. A freezer still in the box in the background of David. Thanks to RIA, sent me a screenshot of it, and I was able to find the video so I could get a date of when this video is put.
Now, in a second, she's going to start playing some music, and we're going to have to mute it because I don't want to get copyrighted for the music that she plays. But let's keep going.
It was posted September 4th, 2024.
Wow.
Now I'm going to do some zooming in and show.
How convenient. My fault.
2024. Now I'm going to do some zooming in and show you.
All right, so how convenient. Now I gotta mute it. I don't know if Zav Girl's gonna talk again, unfortunately, because the music is playing and I stopped it here when I decided to play this for the show. But she's zooming in, she's doing her thing, and we appreciate that. That's a freezer back there, allegedly. And look at the timing, September 24th, 2024, excuse me, September 2024. Could this been premeditated? I don't know. This is diabolical. And the more I get exposed to this young man, let me see if there's any more, still more music being played. Yep. The more I get exposed to this young man, the more I believe that he is an absolute psychopath. That's my opinion. It's my opinion. This guy, the way he spoke in his interviews, the type of music that he produced, that he fed to our children, this guy is a psychopath. Psychopath. I don't know. Somebody said, so that's all we got on this one, people. That's all we got on it. Wow, this is crazy. Nuts. We're going to say on this, big shout out to Kimberly Fine with a $5 super chat, says LA summer heat and strong smell, but not a single maggot fly to narrow timeline by life cycle despite her physical condition. That's crazy. Whew. That whole freezer thing has thrown me for a loop. It has thrown me for a loop. I don't know what to think because there's discrepancies to me with the whole freezer thing. Because on one hand, we have some creators who are involved in the investigation in their own way who are saying that that car has not been moved for weeks. And then we're talking about defrosting body parts. I don't think that it's going to take weeks for a body to defrost. I don't think so. I don't know. It is what it is. We're going to explore more about this over the weekend or probably tomorrow or Monday as more information comes out. I appreciate you guys joining me on this late night live. Thank you so much for joining the channel. Remember, we do have a Patreon for exclusive material. If you want to see content that we don't post on YouTube, go over to the Patreon. We also have a membership. Please support the channel. A lot of our content is demonetized, ladies and gentlemen. And it's these people who are willing to spend extra on a Patreon and a membership that keeps this channel afloat. We appreciate you and we love you guys immensely. All right, let's cue up the outro. Woo. Sad stuff. Whew, I'm sorry, I got to decompress. Strategic is out of here.